Good morning, guys. Welcome back to my channel, Happy Twins 1111 Tarot. My name is Charlotte. Now, I'm going to get all the important bits out of the way first, because when I'm channeling and doing the tarot, I just get muddled up. And yesterday I did a video of channel messages and announced this live reading I'm doing on Monday, but I got all the times and everything mixed up. So I'm going to do that now. On Monday, the 11th of February, I'm going to be doing a reading like today's live on YouTube, so that you guys can come and join in and actually ask for a reading. So they'll be fairly quick, like I'm working through today. I'll be doing at least an hour, but if I'm able to, I'll do a bit longer. I'll just keep going until I get tired. So please do come and join me. That's Monday the 11th of February, and that's at 11 p.m. GMT time. That's UK time. So if you're somewhere else in the world, just look at what time that corresponds to in your time zone. I know that that's 6 p.m. EST. But it's 11 p.m. GMT on Monday the 11th of February, so hopefully I'll see you then. So today I'm going to be doing a channeled reading for messages from the Divine Feminine to the Divine Masculine. So if you haven't seen this format before, I use this skinny deck of court cards. I'll be choosing one for the Divine Feminine, that will tell us her star sign, and then one for the Divine Masculine, that will tell us his star sign. And so this will enable us to make sure that these messages are reaching the right people. I do channel my guide Arthur whilst I'm reading, so if I pause for a moment, just bear with me. So these are messages from the Divine Feminine to the Divine Masculine. If you're interested in what decks I'm using, I do put that information down below in the description box, and you can also find information there about how to book a reading with me. I am doing readings at a special introductory price for February, so jump in and take advantage of that whilst you can. The prices will go up in March. I am a professional tarot reader in my kind of full-time job, so I do have to bring the prices up to match what they are. Anyway, let's get cracking. So again, Divine Feminine on the left, Divine Masculine on the right, and these, what does your Divine Feminine want you to know, and that's going to help you on your journey? Let's have a look, see. And please do like, comment, and subscribe. It's always lovely to get feedback. I'm so humbled by the emails and messages I've had already. It just feels so lovely to be able to support this community, because I know how it feels to go through this journey, especially through that difficult part. Okay, so we've got an earth sign here. That's Page of Stones, or Pentacles as it's known, so that'd be a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. And we've also got a Scorpio. So it's a Divine Masculine earth sign, so Divine Feminine earth sign, Divine Masculine Scorpio. Let's see what the messages are. So Arthur's saying that these two are a real pair, but he's saying it quite humorously. He's saying they don't know what they want. Back and forward, up and down. Wow, okay. So we've had a bit of a Tower moment. Okay, so these two have recently moved into separation. We have the Tower card here. Something explosive has happened. Let me see if I can get some clarity on that. They've just had an explosive falling out, and they've decided that they need some time apart. There's a lot of frustration here. So Arthur's just telling me that neither party really knows what they want. When they're coming together, they're really triggering one another. And there's some really beautiful chemistry between them. We can see that here with the Temperance card. But I feel like even though it was an explosive falling out, that both parties knew that something needed to give. I'm feeling like it's like a release, a rushing feeling of just being able to breathe again. And I feel like these two have come together and they've been really, really triggering one another. And the Divine Feminine is really at the end of her tether. I feel like in particular it's the divine masculine that's not coming forward with okay, so Arthur's telling me he's not doing any work, he's not on that spiritual journey yet, but he's not seeing his part in the problems that they're having in this interaction. When they get triggered, the divine feminine, she's really understanding where these kind of explosive rows come from. She understands Arthur's showing me the heart of the problem. But she's really struggling to get her divine masculine to see. He's very stubborn, and he's just not listening. He's very resistant to acknowledging his own failings, his own negative traits. And he's very, very possessive. So I feel like even though he's not come forward in giving this divine feminine what she would expect and need from a committed relationship, he also has, quite large expectations of her. And she's saying, please give me some peace. She's exhausted. She loves you very deeply. Okay, so I feel like she's much more grounded in this, and she understands this journey much more than this divine masculine who's, he's about to start this work. He's, I'm seeing, but he's defensive. He's very, very defensive. Divine feminine wants you to know that she really cares, and that she's not letting you go forever, but she knows that you need this separation. She knows that you both need this time to go on this inner journey. We have the Eight of Cups here, and she is, desperate for you to wake up and see what's happening. And she's protecting the work she's already done, because she'd got herself into a really happy and healthy and emotionally balanced place, but she's frightened that you're going to topple that these triggering, these arguments you're having, this hard work she's done, that she's frightened that she's going to lose her footing again. But she wants you to know that this will be okay, that you both will find that balance, that you, the divine masculine, you need to go on your own inner journey. That's what we're being shown here with this Eight of Cups. And if you can do that, balance is restored. We have temperance here, which is this, beautiful alchemical mix that works. And I feel like this chemistry between you both is so powerful that, it makes you both feel very vulnerable. And the divine masculine here, he's not very good at being vulnerable. He is very afraid. The divine feminine, she's patient, but she's also, I'm being shown she's doing this. She's saying, he needs to do his work now. I've done my bit. And, I feel like she's in a much more confident and calm place with this. And when I say done her work, I don't actually think she's fairly spiritual, but she might not be an awakened twin. She's not necessarily aware of the twin flame journey, but she's a balanced woman, and she loves this man very much, but she's been through a lot of toxic relationships, and she's not tolerating anything that's less than balanced and whole and safe. And this interaction with all of these triggerings is just too much for her. So this divine masculine, the message from your divine feminine, she loves you, she cares about you, but you need to stop bringing your insecurities into the equation, because they are warping your judgment, they're warping your perspective. When you have an argument, I feel like you're pulling all kinds of stuff out the bag and going off on a tangent rather than focusing on core issues. And this really frustrates her. And you're not acknowledging your part. You're not acknowledging your own inner wounds. And you can't move forward until that's done. So you need to go on that inner journey. You need to, you know, you need to trust her as well. She's very frustrated that you don't trust her because she is trustworthy. And she needs you to understand that your fears about her fidelity are nothing to do with her. They're not born of her behaviour, her actions. You know, she's a trustworthy person. It's you that is struggling with trust issues, even though they're not prevalent in this relationship. It's you that has them. Okay, I hope that helps. Let's do the next one. So we've got a King of Pentacles, that's a Taurus male. Sorry, Taurus Divine Feminine. I've done so many with a masculine on the left, I keep getting muddled up. So a Taurus Divine Feminine and an Earth sign Divine Masculine. So again, that could be Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. Okay, so before I've even pulled the cards out, I'm getting that this Divine Feminine she is very balanced and grounded, and this Divine Masculine, he's very, in fact, he's come up again here. We've got another Page of Pentacles. He's all over the place. He's very flighty. And I'm feeling that there's a fairly big age gap here. I feel like the Divine Feminine is that little bit older. And she's very frustrated. That's what's being communicated to me. She's very, very frustrated with his flightiness. And she is very abundant. You know, she is in a real place of... I'm just seeing her celebrating. I feel like she's come through... She's definitely awakened. She's come through a very painful and long journey. And she's found herself at the other side of this feeling incredible, full of self-love, full of self-acceptance. But she's very independent in that, you know, we've got the Nine of Cups here, which for me are really about independence, individuality. And she's really stepped in to these lovely feelings of just feeling safe and, you know, loved. And that's an inside job. This is love she's giving herself from the inside. But she is very focused on her Divine Masculine. There are some major trust issues here. And she also feels like she's mothering him. And she doesn't want to be his mother. You know, she wants to be his partner and his love. She doesn't want to be his mother, but he's not, you know, she's asking you, please. She doesn't want to say grow up because that's patronizing, and she doesn't, you know, want to poke fun at your age, but I'm feeling like there is a reasonable age gap here. But she's asking you to take care of yourself. And you're seeing issues where there aren't any. Much like the last reading I've just did, this chap is very untrusting, and I feel like actually that goes both ways, but I feel like you actually give her reasons not to trust you. And a lot of the mistrust you're feeling isn't even about anything she's doing. It's actually about, so Arthur's telling me it's a bit of a game. You know, if you're not going to trust me, I'm not going to trust you. It's childish. It's really immature. So this Divine Feminine wants you to know that she loves you unconditionally, like she loves herself unconditionally. But she is not going to move towards you until you've reached that place. She doesn't want this drama. She doesn't want to be your mum. She doesn't want to, tiptoe around these issues. I feel like she's quite a blunt and direct woman. She's fair, but she tells it as it is. And I think, you know, this guy is struggling with that. And actually, Arthur's telling me, if you don't want to be his mum, stop talking to him like his mum. This is part of the problem. This divine feminine is, because she is blunt, because she goes in, you know, it can come across a little bit like nagging. And the dynamic between these two is really... fractious is the word that Arthur's saying. It's fractious because they're both in this, you know, unhealthy zone of awareness when they come together. There's a lot of triggers here. Independently, she's fine, which is, I feel like she's detached from the situation. These twins are in separation. And the divine masculine, he's really furious with her. He feels abandoned. But, you know, she's saying, it's not my job to make you feel loved. That's an inside job. I'm not your mother. And I feel like this this divine masculine did have a difficult relationship with his mother. You know, there are some inner child wounds there. And he's got this attachment to his twin, which isn't healthy. And she recognises that. She knows that, you know, that's not a healthy basis for a relationship. Attachment only exists when there's no self-love. When you love yourself from the inside, you don't need to attach yourself to others. We attach our love to others because it feeds us. Yeah, we want them to complete that circle. I'll love you, you love me back, and we both feel good. But that doesn't work. And that's not what the twin flame journey is. The twin flame journey is about learning to love self. So that, you know, you can say, I love me and you love you, and together we can love safely and unconditionally. You can only love unconditionally when you have love for yourself. And this divine masculine definitely doesn't have that. So he needs to develop that. He needs to spend some time doing that, and to know that your twin will be waiting for you. She's, you know, she cares, but she's not going to be your mum. She's not going to mother you. She's not going to allow that attachment. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so that's the Page of Wands. It's a fire sign, which is Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. And another Scorpio, divine masculine. So the divine feminine is a fire sign, divine masculine is Scorpio. Oh, okay, I'm getting so much sadness from this divine feminine. So she is really trying very hard to be strong. This couple are in separation, and I feel like it was the... So I'm being shown that this separation was karmic. You had to, you know, your guides stepped in and took that decision for you because you were going round and round in circles. You weren't doing what you needed to do. And even though this divine feminine, she is very strong. She has this incredible fountain of inner strength. She's definitely very spiritual. She's very, very strong, and she is overflowing with emotion for her divine masculine, you know, but she's keeping it controlled. She's keeping it in a I'm being shown a safe space. So it's almost like she can pick it up and put it down and not allow it to overwhelm her. But she is hurting. She's hurting through the separation. you know, there's a lot of regret and disappointment here. She wants you to know that she hasn't given up and that she hopes you can understand that this separation serves you both. As I said, I feel like it wasn't either party's decision. I feel like fate intervened. Your guides intervened and said, you know, these two, they need that time apart. And she wants you to know that she's still thinking of you. She's, you know, she's not given up on you at all. But she knows that this interaction wasn't healthy for either of you. The Divine Masculine in particular has things to resolve. He needs to do those in his own time. He's got issues with, he's got issues at home. Okay, so I'm being shown that, you know, you were thrust apart to limit the damage, and not just to yourselves, but to the other parties involved. And the Divine Masculine in particular, I feel like this is a real nightmare time for him. He's particularly heartbroken by the separation, and the Divine Feminine wants you to know that it was part of your journey, and you need to stop being in this energy of resenting it, of resenting her. It doesn't serve either of you, because, you know, the twin flame journey has its stages, it has its ups and downs, but every single one of them serves you. It happens for a reason. And she wants you to step into your own power and start accepting what is, because once you make peace with what is, that's when you can really move forward. And he's really stuck. And she's saying, you know, you don't need to be. Every day you have free choice, free will. By changing your mind, you can change everything. And she empathizes. She's sending you her compassion. She's sending you her love. But she's also saying, just remember, this is hard for me too. And she's showing this strength, okay? She's doing this fabulous job of keeping her feelings as contained as she can, so that they're not spilling out and interfering with her life as much. But she's saying this Divine Masculine, he struggles with that. There's a lot of resentment and bitterness in him towards her, for the situation, for the other people involved in it. I'm being shown that he's not very kind to his karmic partner. He is in a relationship, and he takes a lot of this out on her, and your Divine Feminine is showing you that this is holding you back. You know, when we have this pain inside of us, you know, as human beings, often we project it out onto those around us and let them bear the brunt of that frustration that we're feeling. But he needs to learn to be in the same energy that she is, which is to be strong and to contain it and to take care of self, to love self. You know, it's an inside job. She's very much in this Ace of Cups energy of caring and loving for self, and he isn't. So she you know, she wants him to start taking responsibility for his own feelings and to stop blaming everybody else. He's got a long way to go on his journey, but he is awake. He's just in a bad place right now. His circumstances are difficult, but again, she's saying, you know, remember what we talked about. Remember we talked about the law of attraction. You get what you expect. And as long as you're stuck in this painful feeling of resentment and bitterness and, you know, non-acceptance, you're gonna stay stuck there. You can only release yourself from that. And she can't come towards you until you've done that work, because she's protecting herself. She's looking after her inside job. Hope that one helped. Wow, this Page of Pentacles really stalks us. It's another Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Divine Feminine. And that's the Knight of Swords or Scrolls is in this deck, which is a Gemini. So we've got a Divine Feminine, Earth sign, and a Gemini, Divine Masculine here. Okay. So this couple have really been through the mill. There's been a lot of illusion and dishonesty because neither party knew how to come together from an honest perspective. They were both so overwhelmed and frightened by the intensity of these feelings that they found it very difficult to step into a place, you know, to come towards one another from a place of integrity, honesty. Arthur's saying you weren't being real. You weren't being yourselves. There's a lot of naivety as well about this journey. So this divine feminine is not awake. She is she's really dealing with a lot of internal, Arthur's saying like a real inferiority complex and unhealthy attachment and a refusal to be real, to be honest, to acknowledge her feelings. And she's not sure what her feelings are herself. She knows that she cares deeply about this divine masculine. She knows that she is she knows that there's something powerful in this connection that she's not experienced before, but she doesn't believe that it's not all an illusion, because she's in the mindset that good things don't happen to someone like her. She's really struggling to accept an honest and real and loving connection, which I feel is what the divine masculine is coming forward with. And he's not, I'm also being shown that he's not her usual type, that she's actually much more comfortable with people who match this energy she has of living with illusion and dishonesty, because that's how she's conditioned. So this divine feminine has a lot of programming from childhood, from her early adult life. I don't feel like she's that old. I feel like there's a marginal age difference, but not a great one, but that the divine masculine is that little bit older. And she's still not released these inner child wounds, this programming that is causing her to make unhealthy choices in relationships. So she doesn't recognise the value in this connection, even though she's aware it's intense and it's different. She's not awake. What I am being shown is that she is stepping into a much more mature energy, and she's learning to be a woman. She's learning to create herself, is what Arthur's showing me. She wants to be happy, but she doesn't know how. So this divine masculine is going to have to be very patient, because I'm not seeing a union for these two anytime soon. This lady, in fact, let me just stop and say, obviously, I hope you're all aware and just take it as a given that if you're a male but relate to the divine feminine, that's fine, and vice versa. I refer to he and she just because it's less confusing. But she is at the beginning of this journey of self-creation, of, stepping into her power. She's not done that yet, but Arthur's saying she will in her own time, but it is going to take time. This divine masculine is going to have to be patient, and I'm hearing that he communicates very clearly. He's very intellectual. He's able to absorb and understand and relay, complex theories and ideas about relationships, about spirituality, and this is one of the things she really loves about you. You've really opened her mind, and I'm being shown that once the mind is opened, it can't go back to its former state. It stays open. So you've planted this seed in her, and it is growing. She wants you to know it's growing, but that she needs your patience, because she needs to move forward independently and work out these lessons for herself. And sadly, I do see that this lady's going to have, some more painful karmic liaisons, but they're going to be short. And Arthur's telling me that this is her guide stepping in. She has to keep repeating that cycle until she learns. And she's not going to learn that with you because you're not coming from this place. So she has to keep being shown this same cycle of dishonesty and illusion so that she can learn that lesson. And it's until she's done that, she can't move towards you. So this separation may be prolonged, but she wants you to know that she's trying her very hardest, and she wants you to know that she has different programming to you. I'm feeling a lot of frustration and impatience, and also that this divine masculine can be a bit cutting sometimes, that he loses patience with her. And she's asking you, please do be patient. If you love me and you believe that this is worthwhile, then show me patience. If you can't show me patience, then leave me alone. Because the cutting words undo all the good work you've done. Okay. So we've got a water sign in the Page of Mirrors, or Cups as it is. That's an Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, Divine Feminine. And we've got a Pisces, Divine Masculine. So these two are definitely in separation. And there's a lot of emotional undercurrent here. Arthur's showing me like a stream that moves in opposite directions, though. They're not seeing eye to eye at all. And they're both caught up in their own emotions, not seeing the other's perspective. Sorry, I don't read with reversals with this deck, so... Okay, so there's also a lot of major attachment problems. I'm feeling like in particular this is from the Divine Masculine, and this is what has caused the Divine Feminine to step back, to step away and to run. So this Divine Masculine, the Divine Feminine is telling you, you need to step into a much more real perspective, because you desperately want this connection, you want this relationship to work, but you're not seeing your part. You don't see that you're the one with a very unhealthy attachment. And we spoke about this in another reading a few minutes ago. Attachment isn't love. That's definitely not unconditional love. Conditional love is when, you say, I love you, but you have to behave a certain way, or I love you, but these are the conditions of our relationship, or I love you, but, with conditional love, there is no buts. And attachment is, as we said, when we look for someone else to complete this circle, we send love out and we need them to give it back for the circle to be whole. But that's attachment, because you can't rely on someone else to complete that circle for you. That's an inside job, and that's what the twin flame journey is about. And that's why you mirror each other. And I feel like you've both got some of this inside you, but the Divine Feminine finds the weight of her Divine Masculine's attachment particularly difficult. And at the moment, she dreams about how it could be between you, but she doesn't believe that she can reach you. She doesn't believe that she can help you right now. She's saying to me, he needs to help himself. He needs to learn that this anxious attachment problem he has about attaching his love to her and getting frustrated and angry when she doesn't complete that circle for him. She can't be responsible for that because she's dealing with a similar problem, but she's a bit further ahead in the game with this, and she's really beginning to step into her own power. And, I do think she's seeing someone else as well who is a lot more grounded and who is very patient with her and her attachment problems. And she has hopes for the future for the two of you, but she needs you to do that work. And she's showing me that you think you have. you know, I'm getting a lot of self-righteousness in this connection. I think this divine masculine really thinks he's the bee's knees, that he's the spiritually whole, centered, balanced, healthy, you know, but he's not. You need to take off the rose-tinted glasses and take a long, hard look at yourself. And I don't mean to be blunt, but she's being blunt because she's so frustrated. She's showing me that she loves you so much, but she can't give you that which you don't already have, which is self-love. No one else can give you self-love. And if you don't love yourself, you can't receive someone else's love in a balanced or harmonious way. You know, you can only meet someone as far as you have met yourself. And so when you come together, you know, there's all this attachment triggering, you're a bit too needy, you get annoyed when she doesn't message you back straight away, you know, and it's not healthy. So this divine feminine is saying, please, you know, I'm doing my own work and I have to learn that lesson independent of you as well. But you've not started, you're not actually seeing that you're not doing this work, that you feel like you have. You feel like you're in a good place and that you know you love yourself, but you don't. If you loved yourself, you wouldn't be triggering or being triggered by her absences, which are nothing to do with love. She's showing me it could be that she was at work or she was on the phone to a friend, but if you're, you know, you panic when she's not responding, when you're not getting what you want. I'm being shown as well that is because she has this tendency to run from you. But you're self-sabotaging. She runs because you're coming after her. So both parties need to be a lot more neutral and give this time and space. And she's telling me this divine masculine is not going to find it easy to accept this. This is going to be hard for him to hear. But she hopes he can see that that's the way he wins. That's the way that the union can move forward. So that's a Cancerian divine feminine and a Page of Pentacles again. So, and an earth sign divine masculine. That's Taurus, Virgo or Capricorn. So this divine feminine, first and foremost, wants you to know that I know you think she's disappeared, but she sees you. She sees you, she keeps, you know, she checks up on you on the internet, on social media, and she thinks of you all the time. She sees you in her dreams, she sees you in her meditations. Okay, so she's not awake though. She's not sure if, you know, she's not made the connection that all of these dreams about you, she's kind of just begun on her spiritual path, but she's very focused on manifesting abundance, manifesting stuff to improve her life. She's not trying to manifest a relationship. Her feelings run very deep for you, but I'm being shown that she's very much given up. And that she, you know, she has no idea of the depth of your feelings. But she's been in a really unhealthy cycle of, I'm being shown substance abuse. Whether this is drugs or alcohol, and toxic relationships. I'm being shown it's self-abuse. She's not taking care of herself in the past, and she's now stepping into a much healthier place where she is taking care of herself. She is loving herself. She's really embracing the law of attraction. She's embracing her ability to manifest good feelings first and foremost. She's understood that with positive affirmation she can feel good about herself. But in terms of the dream she's having about you and you popping up in her meditation, at the moment she feels that is illusion because she cannot accept that, you know, that this love was divine. It felt so, but she's just seeing it as a almost illusion that she's thinking that because she was in such a dark place with all these addictions, that it's what she wanted to believe. So she's really pushing that out of her head and trying to focus on her own journey. And she's telling me this is what her divine masculine needs to do as well. I feel like you actually triggered one another addiction-wise, and that there was a problem. Both of you had a problem with substance abuse, and this is one of the main reasons she has run, that she's stepped away from this relationship. She didn't trust it because of the substance abuse. She didn't, she felt her judgment may be warped and her perspective wasn't, but she can't get you off her mind. But she's also scared to move back towards you because she doesn't know if you're still in these unhealthy patterns of addiction, and she's not in a strong enough place to be able to hold herself if she's in that environment. So this running is very much about self-preservation for her, but she wants you to know that she does think of you, she loves you, but her conscious self hasn't acknowledged that yet. It won't accept that love. And I'm being shown that this divine masculine, they're very, very similar, these two. And we talk about twin flame mirrors, but they've both come to the table with very similar problems. This substance abuse as a form of escapism to block out past hurt, and the no inner self-love, so that neither of them have managed to have healthy relationships with healthy boundaries and balance. So she wants you to know that you need to stay on this path of recovery. You need to stay on this path of taking care of self. And when you're there, she's asking you to reach out to her. So she's saying, when you're not abusing whatever substances it was you was into, when you're in this much more balanced and grounded place, and you've removed that addiction, she will feel safer in coming towards you, and that's when you'll start to make some progress towards union. I'm being shown that it won't be rapid progress, because when you come back together, you will trigger each other. You will have dealt with these addiction issues, but you will be still triggering one another in terms of self-love, self-acceptance, and there'll be a lot of insecurity in that interaction. But you need to reach out to her divine masculine when you're in a healthy place, when you're in a healthy state of mind, and you're not abusing substances. Hope that helped. I'm just going to do a couple more because I really need to get on with other stuff today. But I may come back and do some more for the divine feminine later. Okay, so we have a Scorpio divine feminine, and that's the King of Pentacles, which is a Taurus divine masculine. Okay, so I'm being shown that there's a lot of even though these two aren't complementary star signs, there's a real mutual understanding between these two, and they're both that bit older as well. They've seen life. I feel like they're also both in a relationship. They both have loyal companions. And so they are in separation, and I feel like actually they've been very respectful to one another and their situations. This is a couple who are able to be pragmatic in their approach to this liaison, in their approach to these feelings they're having. I'm feeling a lot of balance and simpatico here. So these two really connect on the 5D spiritual plane. They're really okay. So I feel like your divine feminine is gearing up to tell you that she is going to move away from her relationship. I feel like these two have been on this journey for quite a long time, and they've both moved past the stage of painful longing. They've both stepped into their own power. They're able to communicate much more freely and honestly, and they're able to, have this closeness without it overwhelming or impacting their the situations with their existing partners. They've been very mature, very respectful, but they find their solace in this kind of spiritual communication. But your divine feminine, you know, she wants you to know that she's very focused on her spirituality right now, and she is ready to move towards this new journey with you. Is what we see with the Fool. I'm seeing a lot of new beginnings here. We've got the Ace of Wands, which is, you know, after this period of waiting, she's really now ready to step into this new journey, and she hopes that you are too. I feel like you guys are actually in communication, but this divine feminine, I think you've both got to a place where you contain your feelings and you allow them to run wild in 5D, but not in 3D. That, you know, you don't want to trigger each other. And I feel like you've both done a tremendous amount of inner work. You've both got yourselves into a much healthier place, and you've both been really... Arthur's showing me you've both shown incredible maturity and compassion in how you've each dealt with your karmic partners and those situations. So this is a couple that is moving towards union fairly quickly. And they're coming towards it from a really balanced, grounded perspective of having done that work and being able to meet each other as equals who have that self-love. So this is really, really positive for this Scorpio. The Scorpio divine feminine and this Taurus divine masculine. So she wants you to know that she is coming. There's a little bit of a wait still. She needs you to be a tiny bit more patient because she's resolving some personal issues in her relationship. She's not told you this because she's uncertain as to whether you will take that action too. And she doesn't want to pressure you. She doesn't want to be the reason that you decide to leave your partner. She knows that needs to be your decision to do when it's right. She knows that that's in the hands of karma, and that's a conclusion you need to reach independently. So she's not communicated that she's ready to move forward and that she's taking steps to make that happen. She wants it to unfold naturally. She doesn't want you to feel that pressure. So if you're a Taurus divine masculine, and you know you resonate with this reading in terms of this simpatico, very mature energy and all of this work, and you know having been on this journey, you know this message is for you to start reconsidering taking those same steps, you know, so that you can also move forward. It's a lovely one. Really happy for you too. Cancerian divine feminine. That's an Aquarius divine masculine, King of Swords and Queen of Cups. So I'm feeling like these two, it's just Arthur's telling me they're actually cuspians. So there's a Pisces Aquarius cusp, and I feel like this Aquarius guy is on it. So even though this lady is a Cancerian, there's a lot of simpatico energy here. They're very, very compatible, and I'm being told that this relationship is divine. It was fated. I mean, you could say that all twin flame relationships are, but these two are really ready to come into union. You know, there's a lot of power. I feel like both of them have had a number of very revealing and powerfully life-affirming and changing past lives. And that this one has been very similar, that they've both had one hell of a ride in coming together. Yeah, we're seeing, you know, it's changed how you see life. You're both ready for this journey. Wow. Okay, so you're both ready for this journey. You know, I feel like, again, this is another more mature couple. I'm feeling the divine masculine is a touch older. But you've done this work, you know, you've had this awakening, your perspective on life has been dramatically changed. It's awakened a lot of past life memories. And I do feel like you've incarnated together before and that you're aware of this, but you've not been in union before. But you're both ready for this new journey. You're ready to do this journey as twins, and I see you really driving towards that now. The Divine Feminine, however, is telling me that you're not actually in touch at the moment. You've been through a very, very long separation, and she doesn't know if you're waiting for her. She's also struggling to find you. So if you're an Aquarius, maybe Pisces, Aquarius cusp, Divine Masculine, and you're not online, you're not on social media, you're not on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, even LinkedIn, anything, you need to be within easy reach. And I feel like she may have a phone number, but she's scared to pick up the phone because she doesn't know if your wife will answer. She doesn't know, she doesn't want to bring this drama. But I feel like these two have been in separation for many years, that both of them have independently begun to understand the twin flame journey. And they've not actually discussed it with one another, but they've both been through an incredible period of self-healing and developing that self-love. And the Divine Feminine wants you to know she's coming for you. She's ready for this journey, and Arthur's showing me that you're both ready for this journey and that it's going to be a really powerful and beautiful one. This is it. These two are really light workers as well. When they come together as twins, they are going to... they're going to help a lot of people. This Divine Masculine as well, she's showing me you are particularly good leader. You're particularly good at, I feel like you're in quite an important and powerful job as well. You manage a lot of people, you are a leader, and you have this knack of reaching the heart of the issue and of winning hearts and minds in your work. When you turn that skill, that ability, this beautiful, empathic, compassionate nature towards light work, as a couple in union particularly, it's going to be really, really powerful. So again, another really, really positive one. Aquarius Pisces chap. Get on social media so she can reach out. Okay. Oh, there he is again, the Page of Stones. So that's another earth sign for our Divine Feminine, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. And this is a Pisces Divine Masculine. Okay, these two are moving in the same direction. I feel like the Divine Feminine in this situation is not awakened, but she is on the right path, and she's been very inspired by her Divine Masculine to explore her spirituality, and she's just beginning to do that. And she feels really lifted by it, and this has, felt her, given her the impetus to really carry on with that journey. I'm getting that she's very connected to shamanistic practices. Wow. Oh, so this is another one that's coming into union. Oh, it's so lovely to see happy news. So we've got the Eight of Cups, we've got Justice, which is also an 8, we've got the Fool, and we've got the Queen of Wands. These two are ready. The separation isn't quite over yet, but it's moving towards union. It's moving towards that new, very powerful spiritual journey. I'm seeing dramatic transformation between these twins. And I feel like the last one I did, they're not in communication, but they're going to be really soon. And this Divine Feminine is, okay, hold on. The Divine Masculine thinks he's been forgotten. He understands the twin flame journey. She doesn't know what twin flames are, but she knows that at the moment, he's constantly on her mind. She's been doing all this very illuminating inner work, and she thinks of nothing else but him, and she's ready to move towards him. She's done so much healing I feel like she was a very balanced, grounded person anyway. There wasn't a tremendous amount of work for her to do. But the separation served both of you in allowing her to do that and allowing this divine masculine to do that last bit of work he needed to do. I feel like these are very enlightened twins. They're very old souls that have a really powerful understanding of life and love. And I'm seeing a very beautiful spiritual journey that you're taking together, and creating something new together, a massive, all-encompassing transformation between the two of you. So she just wants the divine masculine to know that she's never forgotten you, that you've been her inspiration, and that she's so grateful that you introduced her to spirituality, because it's where she's found true inner peace and a true sense of self. But this is very, I'm being shown that this is all about karma now, that karma will pull you back together. I don't feel like either one of you is going to need to reach out. I feel like karma is going to take care of that for you, and you can trust that divine timing. You just need to be patient in the interim and know that union is coming, and it's going to be very fulfilling and magical. Oh, so lovely to get lots of nice ones. Lots of nice union messages. Right, I'm going to do one more, then I really need to crack on and get on with my day. Oh, Page of Stones again. That's another earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. And this is the Page of Swords, so that's a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. So earth sign, divine feminine, air sign, divine masculine. Oh, this divine feminine really feels like giving up, but she stepped into such... Oh, this one makes me feel really sad. So this divine feminine, she has done so much work. She's really stepped into her own power. She's really begun to trust and love self. But there's a lot of attachment and lack of trust from her divine masculine. She doesn't know about the twin flame journey, but she's very close to giving up on this divine masculine because she simply cannot cope with the intensity of his attachment problems and with his lack of trust in her. I feel like this actually is a very unhealthy dynamic between the two of you, and she's desperate for this divine masculine to see his own shortcomings. So after she stepped into this, this beautiful feminine spiritual power, I'm being shown she just feels like she's coming up against a brick wall, because this divine masculine, we've got another one here who hasn't done that work. And he thinks he has, and he's the one that understands the twin flame journey. She doesn't know about it, but he understands it intellectually, but he's not absorbed that lesson into his heart chakra. And he's not processed. I'm being shown blockages in his root and sacral chakras as well. So he's not processed this learning. She's come to this learning quite by accident, not because she knows about or was introduced to the twin flame concept. And she has a deep fountain of love inside of her for you. It's really very, very pure, a very, very spiritual love. She knows that what she's feeling for you is different, but she's also torn because this is a very toxic relationship. It has been very toxic, and she knows that's not healthy, and she knows that's not what she wants. She's done this work, and she's ready for something real and deeply spiritual and connected. And this divine masculine isn't able to come forward with that because he's not acknowledging his own work and the need to do that work. He really feels like, he's confident and loving of self, but that's ego. He's very much stuck in ego. And, you know, feeling satisfied with your accomplishments, you know, thinking, look, I've got a nice car, I've got a great job, you know, I've really got a smooth and balanced practical life, and I'm so great, I'm really successful, I did well at college, and, you know, I'm really successful and I like myself. You know, that's ego. All of those things that you're thinking, you know, you're getting this self-love from, this self-satisfaction, they're just ego. Okay, they're not to do with real self-love or unconditional love. And you don't trust this lady. And she's, you know, you're holding back uni. I feel like this guy knows about the twin flame thing. And he's very, very frustrated because he's like, you know, he doesn't understand why she keeps running away. But you don't treat her well. And the reason you don't is because you don't love yourself. You've got really, really serious trust issues. But you need to trust yourself, and you don't love yourself. So, you know, the message for this divine masculine from his divine feminine is please see what you can do to meet me halfway, because you can't run that distance for you. And you're so convinced that you're full of self-love, but that's ego talking. Ego needs to be broken. And the scary thing, I feel like this divine masculine is very afraid of doing that, because when you break ego, when you say the car, the job, all the successful accomplishments don't matter, they're not who I am, they don't define me, you're left having to look at self. And that can be very scary, particularly for some men. But he has to go through this. So I don't see these two coming into union anytime soon. This divine masculine needs to do a lot of work on himself. And the divine feminine, you know, she's hanging in there. You know, she's grounded in this acceptance of, she can't get you out of her head. She knows there's some higher purpose to your connection, and she's trying to stay loyal, she's trying to stay focused. But it's so hard for her when she comes up against this stuff from you. And, you know, she's triggering you way more than you're triggering her. She's in a much more healthy and balanced place. So please, if you're this air sign, divine masculine, and, you know, you think, I do like me, try and write a list of the stuff that you like about you that aren't tangible and literal. You know, what aspects of your personality do you celebrate and like? How do you feel about yourself as an actual person? Forget how much money you earn. Forget what car you drive. Forget how much your friends think you're funny and you know, popular and stylish. You need to strip all of that away and look at self, because there's a lot of inner child wounds there that you're carrying which are holding you back. Okay, so thank you so much, guys. Please do like, share and subscribe, comment below and let me know your thoughts. And just to remind you again, Monday the 11th of February at 11 p.m. GMT. That's 11 p.m. GMT UK time. I will be doing a live channeled readings for both divine, masculine and feminine. Whoever shows up and asks for one, I'll do at least an hour. I'll carry on longer if I can. It doesn't cost you a bean. So please come along and let's see if we've got any messages for you to help support you on this journey. And once again, thank you so much for all your likes and subscribes. It really is very humbling. I've had quite a few emails saying how grateful people are for the readings, that they've really helped. And that really lifts me. It's a wonderful feeling. So thank you so much. Have a good day.